We'll break those down for a moment. Are you, Pt.2, you scared or worried about the endorsement of former Vice President by former President Olusegun Obasanjo? He's endorsed former Vice President Atiku Abubakar to be Nigeria's president.
I think it's besides the point. Nigerians are going to vote at the 2019 election. Nigerians will make a choice between going back to the pre-25 era of inefficiency and corruption, an era of decayed infrastructure, the era where the bombings and the insurgencies started, and to an era where the economy has been revamped, where insecurity has been, has been tackled, where today we can talk about redevelopment. And Nigerians are not stupid. They will make their choice. They will make a right choice.
Because that was the same man who endorsed President Buhari in 2014. Now he said that he will not support him because he believes that he has failed Nigerians.
Shehu, it's not what he says that matters, but as President Buhari actually failed Nigerians. And that's what we're here to discuss today.
We will discuss that in a bit. And let's quickly go into the issues of the economy. Maybe we should start from that point. And, or maybe because before I go into that, is the issue of the allegation from the opposition that your government is intimidating opposition political parties or dissenting voices.
Well, I'm yet to hear of any opposition leader who has been harassed, or who has been arrested, or has been detained. But if by saying what we have done, what we've achieved, if that is intimidating, then we have no apologies, because our records will intimidate any opposition. See, the difference is that when we are coming in 2015, we are telling Nigerians what we will do. Today, for re-election, we are going to tell Nigerians what we have done. Great. And why we must be re-elected.
Let's talk about the economy. And a worrying factor, quickly, is the rising debt profile of the country. I will show our viewers this information on the screen and the history of the Nigerians. This is from the DMO, the Debt Management Office, which says from 2014, if you can see, how our debt has grown 11 trillion to 22.4 trillion. That's almost double in 4 years, Honorable Minister.
Shehu, I think we should do more than that. What was our debt in 2010? What is our debt today? And I can tell you, that in 2010, Nigeria owed just $35 billion. And by 2015, it had risen to $63 billion. Today, it's $73 billion. In other words, in 3.5 years, we borrowed only $10 billion. Whereas in 5 years, the past administration borrowed $28 million. Who is managing your economy better?
Is it the...
And not important, and you see, what is important is not the quantum of what you have borrowed, but what you have done with what you have borrowed. And we're going to go that we have borrowed to invest in infrastructure.
When it showed also that part of what has been borrowed is also being used for the current expenditures. Is that gratifying in any way?
A great proportion of what you have borrowed is being used for infrastructure. And I can prove that. We took 100 billion bond, Naira bond, Sukuk bond, and we divided it into 6 equal parts and gave each geopolitical zone 16.6 billion Naira to finance 25 critical infrastructure. That's the difference between us and them. When we take money, we invest largely in infrastructure.
And even the Senate are saying that you should slow down on your borrowing. That is getting to a threshold that Nigeria may not be able to bear any longer.
You see, we are even more concerned about borrowing. But at the same time, for a country that is in a hurry to rebuild its infrastructure, it's not the quantum of borrowing that matters, but rather what you do with the borrowing. As I've shown you, that a past administration borrowed $28 billion in 5 years. We have borrowed only $10 billion in 3.5 years. And those, $10 billion, we can tell what you've done with it. For instance, we have invested $10 million in setting up a first-class cancer treatment center in Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, which will become operational in February this year. We've invested another $5 million in a modern diagnosis center, one in Federal Medical Center Umahia, and the other in the Malam Aminu Kano University Teaching Hospital in Kano. Both of them will become also operational in March 2019. Now, we have set aside a $1.3 billion presidential infrastructure fund to ensure that 5 critical, infrastructure projects, the Second Niger Bridge, the East-West Road, the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, the Mambila Power Project, and the Abuja-Kano Road would not suffer from funding.
But some of the projects that you're talking about are not initiated by your government. The projects were initiated by the former government.
As a matter of fact, one of the unique features of this government is that rather than award new projects, we've striven to complete projects we inherited from former administration, because for us, governance is a continuum. No government can, in one election cycle, complete all the projects. But the bane of this country before us was that everybody will come in and award new contracts rather than continue with what they met on ground. And this is one area that I think we have made a difference.
Quickly, before we go on this break, is government paying subsidy on fuel?
Well, I think my understanding is that there's what is called under-recovery. And under-recovery will come about any time when the landing cost of a product is much more than the selling, the pump price. But I think the best person to explain that intricacy will be the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources.
At this point, let's take a breather, everyone. Up next on the program, can the voters take APC by their promises and judge them by their performance? We get Mohammed's final thoughts on the program tonight on issues related to anti-corruption and security. Those are some of the critical issues the APC promised Nigerians. That's next on the program, everyone. Join us again.